Hey everyone, and welcome to Whale Radar. So, have you been looking at the crypto charts lately and just feeling completely lost? One day it looks like we're headed for the moon, the next it feels like the floor is about to fall out. If that sounds familiar, then stick around because this video is for you. We are going to break down exactly what's happening and cut through all that confusion. This is it, right? This is the million-dollar question on everyone's mind. Which way is the market actually heading? Are we setting up for a massive bull run? Or is this just a little bounce before we see another big leg down? It's a tough one to answer. And here's where it gets really interesting. The reason it's so confusing is that the charts are telling two completely different stories at the same time. It's a total paradox. We've got these really strong short-term bullish signals that are screaming buy, but they're running headfirst into some incredibly serious long-term bearish warnings that are flashing major red flags. It's like a massive tug of war happening in real time. Now, to really get a handle on why crypto has any strength at all right now, we actually have to zoom out, way out, beyond just crypto. We need to take a look at the traditional stock market because, believe it or not, it's acting like a major lifeline for digital assets at the moment. So here's the deal. The stock market, specifically the S&P 500, is hitting new all-time highs. And what you have to remember is that there's a really high correlation or connection between stocks and crypto. When stocks are booming, it creates what's called a risk-on environment. Basically, investors feel confident, they have more money, and they're more willing to put that cash into more volatile, high-reward assets, like Bitcoin. That good vibe, that momentum, it spills over and gives the whole crypto market a powerful tailwind, helping to prop prices up. Okay, so with that tailwind in mind, let's turn our attention to the main event. Because at the heart of this entire battle is Bitcoin, of course. This is where the fight between the bulls and the bears is at its absolute fiercest. And you can bet that whatever Bitcoin decides to do next, the rest of the market is probably going to follow suit. So this is the most critical thing to understand. You can look at the exact same Bitcoin chart and build a solid case for it going up and a solid case for it going down. It all depends on your time frame. If you zoom in and look at the short term, like the hourly or daily charts, things are actually looking pretty good. But if you zoom out to that big picture, weekly view, a much scarier story starts to unfold. So let's talk about the bullish case first. The argument here is pretty compelling. Number one, Bitcoin just had a really strong bounce off of a key support zone. This is an area on the chart where, in the past, a ton of buyers have jumped in and pushed the price up, and it happened again. Number two, and this is a big one for traders, we have a confirmed bullish divergence on the 6-hour chart. So what does that mean? It's a technical signal where the price of an asset makes a new low, but a momentum indicator, like the RSI, makes a higher low. Think of it like a car rolling downhill, but you can see the driver is starting to ease off the brake and get ready to hit the gas. The downward momentum is fading, which often signals a reversal to the upside is coming. And finally, of course, it's surfing that wave of good feeling from the stock market that we just talked about. But then you flip the coin over, and the picture changes dramatically. The bears are looking at the long term, and they see some serious trouble ahead. First off, Bitcoin is slamming its head right up against a massive wall of historical resistance. This is a price level where, in the past, sellers have come out in force and crushed the price down. And here's the scary part. Just like there's a bullish divergence on the short-term chart, there is a much bigger, much more powerful bearish divergence on the weekly chart. And in the world of trading, a signal on a longer time frame, like the weekly, almost always carries more weight than a signal on a shorter one. And to top it all off, the way the price is moving right now, it looks almost identical to a pattern we saw back in 2022, right before a huge market crash. Yikes. Now, this whole civil war happening inside of Bitcoin isn't just a Bitcoin problem. Oh no, it's sending these huge waves of uncertainty across the entire altcoin market. If you look at the major alts, you can see that pretty much all of them are sitting at their own critical make or break points, basically just holding their breath, waiting for Bitcoin to make the first move. Let's take a look at Ethereum for a perfect example. It just gave us a textbook case of what traders call an invalidation. So for a little while, Ethereum's price had dropped below a key trend line that had been holding it up. That's usually a really bearish sign. But then, almost immediately, the buyers rushed back in and shoved the price right back above that line. They essentially canceled out or invalidated that bearish signal. For now, that's a really positive sign for ETH. And now let's check out Solana. It's playing a classic game of follow the leader.
Its chart looks almost exactly like Bitcoin's short-term chart. It held its support level perfectly and is now trying to push higher. But you gotta understand, its fate is completely tied to Bitcoin right now. If Bitcoin manages to break through its resistance, then Solana has a clear path to run higher. If Bitcoin gets rejected, well, Solana's likely coming right back down.
XRP's chart is a fantastic lesson in what we call critical support. Just look at it. Over and over again, the price has dropped to this one specific level, and every single time buyers have shown up to defend it. This line is basically the last stand for the bulls. As long as the price stays above it, there's hope for a rally. But just like with Bitcoin, that big, scary, weekly bearish divergence is still hanging over its head, waiting.
And look, we're seeing the same story play out with Chainlink. It is also flashing that exact same short-term bullish divergence that we saw on Bitcoin's chart. What this tells us is that the recent selling pressure is probably running out of gas. Now, this doesn't automatically mean Chainlink is about to launch into orbit. It's more likely to lead to a bit of a relief rally or just some messy sideways price action for a while as it figures out its next move.
Okay, so things are messy. We have bullish signals fighting bearish signals across the board. So how do we know who's going to win this epic tug of war? Well, it's actually going to come down to a few very specific, very important price levels on the Bitcoin chart. These are the lines in the sand that are going to decide everything.
So here is the exact roadmap that every serious trader is watching right now. Step 1 is the first little test. Bitcoin has to break through the immediate, smaller resistance. If it clears that hurdle, we move to step 2, the main event. Can the buyers actually muster enough strength to smash through that giant wall of historical resistance? But listen, just poking its head above isn't enough. That brings us to step 3, which is the most important part, confirmation. The price has to stay above that old resistance for a while and prove that it can turn it into a new floor, a new support level. If Bitcoin can pull that off, the entire market outlook could flip from bearish to wildly bullish very, very quickly.
So there you have it. The battle lines have been drawn. The bullish, short-term momentum is in a direct showdown with the bearish, long-term historical patterns. Now, if you want to see how I'm personally treating these exact levels and get my real-time updates, make sure you join my free Telegram channel. The link is in the description. And of course, subscribe here to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next update. The big question we're all left with is this: does this current rally have enough firepower to break the cycle and start something new? Or is the weight of history just too heavy? The whole world is watching to find out.